Good day everyone, I am Mr. Ratiel and welcome to my classroom. For today's video lesson, we are going to solve problems involving fraction, decimal, and percent. Let's start. There are many practical examples where you can encounter fractions, decimal, and percent. In computation of costs of products, sales discount, finding the cheapest item in supermarket, and so many more. So, you must know how to deal with fraction, decimal, and percent since there are many situations that you will encounter these math concepts. Let's have some examples. Example number 1. Aling Nena goes to a market to buy 3.5 kg of pork, 3/4 kg of chicken, and 3 liters of cooking oil. The following is the list of prices. So, for pork, 280 pesos per kilogram. For chicken, 210 pesos per kilogram. And for cooking oil, 25 pesos and 75 centavos for every liter. So there are two questions here. Number 1, how much is the total amount of all the items bought by Aling Nena? Number 2, if Aling Nena has 150,000 Philippine peso, how much will be left to her after paying all the items? So here's our solution for number 1. But let me read first the situation. Aling Nena goes to a market to buy 3.5 kilograms of pork, 3/4 kilogram of chicken, and 3 liters of cooking oil. The following is the list of prices. Okay, so we are trying to find the total amount that Aling Nena bought. So let's start with pork. So since she bought 3.5 kilograms of pork, we need to multiply it by its price, 280 pesos. And to do that, we can convert 1/2 into decimal form, in which it will become 3.5. So multiply by 280, that will give us 980 pesos. So the next one is the chicken. For chicken, since she bought 3/4 kilograms of chicken, I'm going to multiply it by 210 pesos. Okay, to do that, convert 3/4 into decimal, and that will become 75 hundredths multiplied by 210, and the product will be 157 pesos and 50 centavos. Okay, and for the last one is for cooking oil. Since she bought 3 liters of cooking oil, we will multiply 3 by 25 and 75 centavos, and the total is 77 and 20. And to find the total amount, we're going to add 980 pesos, 157 pesos and 50 centavos, and 75 pesos and 25 centavos. And that will give us 1,214 pesos and 75 centavos. And this is our final answer in number 1. For solution number 2, the question is, if Aling Nena has 1,500 pesos, how much will be left to her after paying all the items? Okay, so to find the answer, we need to subtract 1,214 pesos and 75 centavos from 1,500 pesos. Okay, so the answer is 285 pesos and 25 centavos. But we need to put this symbol, the peso sign, since we are referring to Philippine money. Okay? Next. Example number 2. Your parents instructed you to call your grandma in the province. If your current load is 145 pesos and a call would cost you 6 pesos and 50 centavos per minute, assuming that you are not registered to any call and text promo like unlimited text or unlimited call, how many minutes will you able to talk with your grandma? Okay, so to find the answer, this is our solution. So since you have 145 pesos load balance, just divide it by 6 pesos and 50 centavos, or 6 and 5 tenths, or 6.5. So dividing this, the answer will be 22 minutes. Okay? So we have an alternative solution. So if you are going to add 6.5 22 times, what will happen? So this is 6.5 for the first minute, for the second minute, for the third, and so on. So if you will add 6.5 22 times, it will give you 145 pesos. Okay, so the answer is 22 minutes. So let's go to the next example. So let's go for the example number 3. A laptop costs 23,500 pesos before the 12% value added tax or VAT. How much is the total cost of the laptop after the VAT? Okay, so you have to take note that 23,500 has no VAT yet, and we will call that as VATable amount. Okay, so we need to add 12% of the VATable amount to find the total cost of the laptop. So how to do that? Again, we need to add 12% of the VATable amount. So since this is the VATable amount, 23,500, just add 12% of it, or 12% of 23,500. So since when we have a preposition of, that represents multiplication, so we can write it as 23,500 plus 12% multiplied by 23,500. And in multiplying percent, we need to transform it first into decimal form. So 12% will become 0.12. So we can now multiply 0.12 or the 12 hundredths by 23,500. Okay, so by the way, 12 hundredths is also 0.12. That's the same. So let's multiply. That will be 2,820. Then just bring down 23,500. So we can now get the sum of it, and that will be the total cost of the laptop, which is 26,320 pesos. Again, we need to put this sign since we are pertaining to Philippine money. Okay? So once again, the answer is 26,320 pesos. We have an alternative solution here. For another solution, so let's remember that 23,500 has no VAT yet, and we call this as the VATable amount. So again, we need to add 12% of the votable amount. So to do that, we simply multiply the votable amount by 1 and 12 hundredths or 1.12. So still, the answer is 26,320 pesos. Okay? So if you want to add 15% to the votable amount, just multiply 1 and 15 hundredths and it will give you 27,025 pesos. Or if you want to add 25% to 23,500, just multiply 1 and 25 hundredths and that is 29,375 pesos. Okay? In this solution, I'm going to show you why do we need to multiply 1 and 12 hundredths by the votable amount. So just take note that 23,000 has no VAT yet and this is our votable amount. Okay? So we need to add 12% of the votable amount to 23,500. So from 23,500 plus 12% of 23,500. And then since there's a preposition of which signifies multiplication, we will multiply 12% by 23,500 and it will look like this. So convert the 12% into decimal form, that is 12 hundredths. Okay, so what have you noticed in our equation here? As you can see, there is a common factor of 23,500. So again, it's the common factor. So we can factor this out as 23,500 multiplied by 1 plus 12 hundredths. If you are going to distribute 23,500 by 1, that would become 23,500. And if you are going to multiply the 23,500 by 12 hundredths, that is 12 hundredths multiplied by 23,500. So this expression is the same. This expression is the same with this expression. We just factor it out by 23,500. And as you can see, if we are going to add this, that will become 1 and 12 hundredths. And that's the reason why do we need to multiply the 1 and 12 hundredths by the votable amount. So still, the answer is 26,320. Okay? So let's go to the next example, number 4. Your total water bill is 321 pesos and 50 centavos. How much of it is the votable amount? Okay, so for our solution, let's note that 321 pesos and 50 centavos is already inclusive of VAT, meaning to say there is a votable amount and the 12% VAT or value added tax is added to it already. So again, it can be broken into the votable amount plus the 12% of votable amount. Okay? So, but we do not know what is the value of the votable amount. So we can represent that as our X. So let X be equal to votable amount. So from this expression, we can convert it into algebraic expression like this. So since our votable amount is our X, this will become your X. Okay? So another one, just copy the operation or the addition symbol. And the next one is our 12% of vatable amount. So that is 12% of vatable amount. That will become 12% of x, since the vatable amount is our x. Take note of this. Okay, so let's proceed. So that will become x plus 12% of x. From the preposition of, once again, that is multiplication. So that will become x plus 1200 x, because we will multiply the 1200s by x. That's going to be 1200s x. And this is equal to 321 pesos and 50 centavos. Since if we are going to combine the vatable amount plus the 12% of the vatable amount, that will become 321 pesos and 50 centavos. Okay, so let us simplify this first. We have here an imaginary 1 and then combine it by 12 hundredths. So that will become 1 and 12 hundredths x equals to 321 pesos and 50 centavos. Okay, so since we are looking for the vatable amount, we just need to eliminate the coefficient of x, the 1 and 12 hundredths. So let's divide it both sides by 1 and 12 hundredths. Okay, so this will be cancelled, and then the value of x is almost equal to, our x is almost equal to 287 and 54 thousandths. Okay, or 287.054. Therefore, the vatable amount or the price that is VAT free is almost 287 pesos. Okay, so looking at this symbol, this is called as the double tilde. Okay, or almost equal to. Okay, there is an alternative solution again. So just simply divide 321 pesos and 50 centavos by 1 and 12 hundredths. So the answer is still almost 287 pesos. Okay, let's go to the example number 5. Linda is 65 years old. A senior citizen, she is exempted to VAT and is also entitled for 20% discount on food items. If she orders a meal and the cost of the food is 90 pesos, how much will she pay the cashier? So for our solution, note that 20% discount is applied to vatable amount. Okay, so let's compute for vatable amount or our x. To do that, simply divide 90 pesos by 1 and 12 hundredths. Again, 90 pesos is the total amount inclusive of the VAT. Okay, so to find the vatable amount, our x equals 90, or the total amount inclusive of VAT, divided by 1 and 12 hundredths. So it will give us 80 and 36 hundredths. Okay, so this is now the vatable amount, and Linda will only pay 80% of it because of the 20% discount. So the 20% discount is not going to be paid, but only the 80% of it. So let's multiply 80 and 36 hundredths by 80%, or 8 tenths. Because 80% is 8 tenths in decimal. It can also be 80 hundredths. Since 8 tenths and 80 hundredths are the same, we can use 8 tenths or 80 hundredths. So the product is almost equal to 64 pesos and 29 centavos. Okay, let us not forget the peso sign since we are referring to the Philippine peso. Okay, so therefore Linda's exact bill for her food is 64 and 29 centavos. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you enjoy learning about solving problems involving fraction, decimal, and percent. And before I end up my video, I would like to give my special thanks to Mr. Eldrin Dalican, and I hope you learned something. Goodbye!